रेडी? पहले 100 पे लिखेंगे। जो कंटेंट मैं बोल रहा हूँ आपको इंग्लिश डिक्टेशन टेस्ट नंबर 8 के नाम से मिल जाएगा, 8 नंबर सॉफ्टवेयर पे। Start it. At present, parcels are charged under 7 different scales based on the type of the commodity. It is proposed that all types of commodities, including luggage, will now be charged uniformly at the same rate under 4 scales depending on the type of service selected by the customer. The highest scale are for Rajdhani service will be applicable to all Rajdhani express trains. The next scale P will be for premier service by certain notified mail express trains. The next lower scale S for standard service will apply to other mail express, Shatabdi express and parcel express trains. The lowest scale E will be for economy service by ordinary passenger trains. In the rationalized structure, the number of scales for charging of parcel and luggage traffic will be reduced from 7 to 4, and the ratio between the highest and the lowest rates will reduce from 8.7% to 6.2%. Newspapers and magazines will now be charged at the scale rates under the lowest scale E by all trains. The rationalized rates for parcel traffic under the new structure will be lower than the existing rates. The details of the existing and proposed rates for different commodities between a few selected pairs of stations are given in the memorandum explaining the budget proposals for adjustment in freight rates and fares. All the above proposals will come into effect from 1/9/2003. Achievements of a vast organization like Indian Railways reflect the sincerity and dedication of the railwaymen who deserve appreciation. They will ever be ready to fulfill the public expectations and aspirations. I express my gratitude to respected Prime Minister for his continued encouragement and kind support, and I firmly believe that Indian Railways would establish new dimensions of progress under his guidance. I also thank and express my gratitude to Honorable Finance Minister for giving adequate support to the railways. I am confident that they would be obligating the railways by providing additional funds generously in the coming year for accelerated execution of the railway projects. I thank honorable members for their support and suggestions and hope that they would continue the same in future too. With these words, I commend the Railway Budget 2003-2004 to the House. Leaders of the parties and groups in Lok Sabha have requested me that the short duration discussion on Ayodhya listed for today be postponed and may be taken up tomorrow, that is on 27th February 2003, after the consideration of the motion of thanks of the President's address is over. I have acceded to the request. Provisions of the Forest Conservation Act are hampering the development of the Adivasis living in district Narmada. In my parliamentary consistency Behruch. It is an unfortunate paradox that the forest conservation laws are depriving rather than benefiting the inhabitants of the forest areas. I would like to urge upon the government to amend these laws so as to pave way for smooth and speedy development for the Adivasi people. The Delhi Rewari Kathri State Highway is an extremely busy highway. This road experienced traffic jams for hours together in the absence of an overbridge across the Kutubgarh railway gate. Consequently, the common citizens, the employed people, the students and the peasants have to face a lot of difficulties in commuting through this road. Therefore, I urge upon the government to kindly issue necessary instructions for construction of an overbridge across the Kutubgarh railway gate on Rewari highway. There has been a long-standing demand to declare the state highway number 7 as a national highway. This highway connects the national highway number 11 and 65 with national number 10. The construction of the above said national highway will not only prove helpful in the development of the area but will also save time and money in road transport system. There was also a reference that there is regional imbalance in it. Due to some historical reasons, regional imbalance is prevalent and we are trying to remove it. We have found some way out for the recognition of deemed universities so that there is no problem of going through legal procedures. If performance of some institutions is good, we make them deemed universities. The Nani Institute has been made a deemed university. While raising the standard of education and expanding it, there should be coordination between them. I do admit that there has been downfall in the quality of education in the universities. The UGC is instituting an inquiry into it. There was a time when Patna University was one of the prestigious universities in the country, but for last some years it suffered a big setback due to situation prevailing in the state. I shall be happy if some programs could be made to raise the standard of Patna University. The society is spending a lot on higher education and students after receiving education in various institutes come out as doctors, engineers, etc. They have a duty to discharge for the development of their alma mater. When we placed this issue before IIT students, they were glad to make donations from their own property to set up research centers and introduce good faculties in the IITs. On 29 January, we made a rough assessment of the situation prevailing in educational institutions in the entire state of Gujarat and provided rupees 150 crores from the funds of the ministry for the reconstruction of Gujarat education. ये अराउंड 900 वर्ड है, 100 की स्पीड है, लेकिन इसमें आपको कुछ कंटेंट और ऐड कर लेता हूँ क्योंकि इसमें मैंने 1000 वर्ड अपलोड कर रखे हैं. एक 100 वर्ड का ऐड और कर लो इसके अंदर, ये कंटिन्यू कर लो. इसमें मिस प्रिंट हो गया है थोड़ा सा. स्टार्ट करेंगे इसे कंटिन्यू. लास्ट वर्ड है गुजरात एडुकेशन, क्योंकि उस फाइल के अंदर 1000 वर्ड है. कंटिन्यू करेंगे इससे आगे. डिस्पाइट द सेवर अर्थ क्विक इन गुजरात, एग्जामिनेशंस टू 10th, 12th and in universities would be held in time and the results declared on time. All the universities in the state are working in this direction. We have provided money more than the loss the state suffered. We have made arrangements for the education of children who have been orphans. We have set up trauma recovery centers for the children who underwent traumatic experience. Our youth should get highest education and compete. If we want to take the country ahead, the industrialists and old students will come forward to extend a helping hand in this regard. There should be a combined effort in this regard. The country cannot solve most of its problems unless there is a proper coordination among industrial policy, the research policy, and the education policy that are like to come up in next 10-20 years. 1031 वर्ड है और ये आपको इंग्लिश डिक्टेशन टेस्ट नंबर 8 @ 100 की स्पीड से मिल जाएगा. फ्लक्चुएशन ना के बराबर है, स्पीड लगभग 100 की है हर जगह पे. आप लिखेंगे 80 पे. Start it. Observe National Solidarity Day. It was exactly 2 years ago that our northern borders were attacked. This was surprise spring on us quite suddenly. But in that hour of peril, we saw an upsurge of patriotic feeling throughout the country. Differences of state, caste, creed, or language, which had often seemed superficially to divide us, disappeared in a moment. It was a visible demonstration of the fundamental unity of our people, which has preserved the integrity of India through the ages. The farmer in the field, the worker in the factory, and indeed people from all walks of life came forward to make their own contribution in order to defend the country's freedom. On the borders, our soldiers fought with valor and with determination. So many of them made the supreme sacrifice and gave their lives so that the country might live. The whole nation remembers them with feelings of admiration and gratitude. We have, however, to remember that we should not be satisfied with what happened in the past. We have to realize that preservation of the freedom and territorial integrity of the motherland calls for incessant effort, vigilance, and alertness. The problems that we face today are serious indeed. The Chinese are trying to build up a mighty war machine and to create fear in the minds of all. China has gone a step further and has recently exploded an atomic bomb. We are thus confronted with a nuclear menace in Asia, something new for this peace-loving continent. These are serious developments and we must take due notice of them. Even otherwise, in recent days, we have seen events of greater significance taking place in other parts of the world. Within the country, we are going through a period of difficulties. The production of food is still inadequate. harvesting of rice has begun and the new paddy and rice will be coming into the market. This will ease the situation in respect of rice for the present. The farmers are aware that the government is very particular that they should get reasonable and remunerative prices for their paddy. I hope they are aware of the fact that the producer's price has already been fixed and announced. It is therefore not unreasonable to expect that the Kisans will come forward to sell their paddy or rice to the government at fixed prices also. The showing of the Rabi crop will soon start. Let us try to produce much more of wheat than we did in the year 1982, which was a normal year. It is essential that the district administration should help in the supply of adequate seeds, manure, and similar other facilities. Water for irrigation purposes is the most important item. The problem of waterlogging has greatly increased in recent years. Every effort should be made to see that areas liable to waterlogging are provided with necessary drains. Besides major irrigation projects, minor and medium schemes should also be taken in hand. All tanks and ponds should be deepened. I am told that the construction of tube wells sometimes diverts attention from the existing irrigation works and even leads to avoidable duplication. It should always be borne in mind that new investment in tube wells should not make the older investment infructuous, nor should it result in the neglect of the existing works. These are some of the reasons why the irrigated area in a number of states has not appreciably increased in spite of considerable investment. The district administration has to be much more alert and active to give all encouragement and assistance to the Kisans with a view to increasing the production of their Rabi crop. While wheat is important, there must be greater production of pulses also. The shortage of pulses has considerably added to our present difficulties. I know we all understand and full realize that the solution of all our present day food difficulties lies in increased production. It is therefore essential that government officials in the districts and others at the state or central level, as also the farmers, should work hand in hand to produce a much better result. Let us show to the country that we can tackle our problem effectively by our own efforts and perseverance. The question of distribution has also assumed great importance. The cooperatives and the fair price shops have helped to a considerable extent in the present situation. With improved methods and with more effective supervision they can do still better. Moreover, if consumer cooperatives can be organized by local initiative, they can be of much assistance in ensuring supplies to the consumers at steady price. I am sorry to say that grain dealers do not seem to have fully realized the gravity of the situation. This has led me to serious thinking, and the government must make some radical changes in the present system of distribution. ये 808 वर्ड है, 80 की स्पीड के साथ बोला गया है और ये आपको इंग्लिश डिक्टेशन टेस्ट नंबर 80 पे मिल जाएगा 8। अब आप स्पीकर पे लिखेंगे सीन कंटेंट को।